you looking to become a Tier 1 operator in the gaming world? Elevate your games with Blacksite Studio Terrain.
Just up the mic. Okay, that's better. So, sorry about that. I seem to have the mic down for some reason. Should be back online now. Fingers crossed. So, next guy is RPG. Yeah, had to add a couple of these in. GRS, they've got some really good gear. They've got grenade launchers in the game that we're going to be playing. Got good optics for their weapon systems. So when in doubt, just throw something in there that's going to really shake them up. That was the plan, and this was the decided thing to shake them up. Really, they've already got some LMGs in this force, so this was a nice bit of extra punch. I'm just putting my tablet out so I can see any chat, which is why he's just sat on his own at the minute. Oh look, I've got a viewer. It's me. Always nice. I get to chat to myself, tell myself stuff. Just another normal day then. Right, so yeah, number 2. So I've not even looked at the colours on this guy yet to see what. I've had a quick look at RPGs. Let's move that across. And with that in mind, let's get my palette. I think I've got the colours down. It's quite noisy on the street today. So the back part of this weapon system here, this sort of first segment, seems to be black metal, then wood for this section that goes on the shoulder, black metal, green ordnance, sort of a black tip with a white or grey dot on the end. He's wearing, what's he got on his feet? Some really bad knockoff trainers. Proper baggy trousers, so I think we're going to have to go with, I'm going to go blue, dark blue, sort of baggy, really baggy jeans. Sleeveless top's got to be white, hasn't it? If you're going sleeveless, it's got to be white. Really good facial features, really clear. You can see the eyes, nose, mouth. Again, we've got hair, so probably going to try a brown with the hair this time. I did an off black with the last one. Oh, I need to get some 2Ps. 2Ps hold up much better than these 1Ps and these little things because it puts some tension on it. I'm fine as long as I hold it around the bottom here, but as soon as I touch this, it just falls out. If you hear the phone going, apologies, but work's getting in touch backwards and forwards. Yeah, it's like anything. The world doesn't really stop, does it? It just attacks things a different way. So, with that in mind, let's get on with some colours. Where to begin? I think the blue jeans is where we're going to start. Normally I start with a weapon. It's really weird to come at it from the jean perspective. So for the blue jeans, we're going to chuck on some ultramarine blue. So we're going to keep them quite dark. This is the second session today. Let's just turn him around. I do prefer to have the face forward. I don't know why. There is no rhyme or reason to that want. It just simply is. Move my water tray across. We're good to go. So yeah, this is the second of 3 sessions today. Hoping to do all 3. We shall see. Depending on how long this guy takes, So the last guy was supposed to be reasonably quick looking at him, but ended up being a real problem child. There was an element added to the model in the form of a satchel with a cloth underneath it to protect him because he wasn't wearing a top, and sort of working out the edges of what that was and was kind of awkward when it was already primed. I think if I'd have trousers, yeah, the trousers go all the way to the ground. I think if I'd have washed the model, or zenithed it, it might have helped me visualize better what was going on. But to be honest, there was no reason for me to do that, so I didn't. Or so I thought. How wrong was I? Now, I'm just getting these lights in a bit better position. There we go. This guy hopefully will be a bit more pain-free. What I'm trying not to do today is make just a little basic mistake I have been. So I've been using different contrasts for the whites, especially for t-shirts and such. And normally I go for the Apothecary white. You know, the name's in the title. But on the time I didn't and used one of the other options, I believe it came out better. But then I forget to use it normally. Ah, Mr. Brenner, he's back again. Hope you had some food and and some other good bits. Yeah, I started a little earlier. I was finished when it comes to sort of doing the third session. I figured I'd just jump straight back in. My stomach's still grumbling as it's trying to process the fish and chips I've just eaten. Luckily the chippy Just Eat delivers, so I didn't have to go out and pick one up. It came to me. So now I'm pleasantly plump, and it felt like no time at all before I was clicking to come back online. But I'm clocking up the hours today. We have a little tracking window for the game. Obviously, we've got the limit of the side. Working in quite a small area at the minute, so it's a bit more awkward. To try and reduce the impact of that being in the shot, I'm just going to zoom in just a touch. There we go. Hopefully that won't disturb you. It's because of the way I've got time. I don't have time. Never make a living off it, will I? I just realised I've got my second brush in my mouth while I'm talking. On this has got some nice ridge work, so you'd definitely be able to get away with it on this without any real problems. Where I struggle is where stuff is really tight in on a model or in a bad place, and for that I'm going to try again using a different contrast that has like I used it once on Trerd. The question is, what was it? Let me have a quick look at my selection of 4, 5, 6. We'll chuck this on and we'll see how this one comes out. So that's the blue done with. Later, need that. Right, I'm going to use it on the trainers first, that way if it's wrong, drastically wrong, I can do something about it rather than ruining the whole shirt. Yeah, this is the one. It has blue in it, so it kind of sits really well for giving the detail. Good thing is as well with it having these dark blue trousers on him means this sort of ties in nicely with it. The highlight lines and the getting in the grooves, doing some, what do they call it, pin. I say pin, it's not pinstriping, it's like the pin details, getting into the creases and the crevices. So let's see how it sits now on. We're going to go back over this with white essentially. This is just to get the a good visual of what goes where. Another good thing about it being a sort of a grey-blue base, if I do, not that much of an issue at all. Still trying to be reasonably neat though, where possible. Get rid of anywhere that's got too much excess. So yeah, we're doing this guy, and I'm going to do one of the sort of the actual military-esque guys, I think, for the third one. I'm not going to do 2 RPG guys today because nobody wants to see the same model done twice. That way I'll save... How many models are left? So I've got 3 models left after this, so it should be 2 left after the end of today. Which would be very cool. Very cool. So still a good couple of weeks worth of sessions for me to do the last 2 if I want to stretch it out that long. It gives me time to order in some other stuff. Yet to be determined. Speak to the team and see which way they want to go, really. It might be that if they start getting stuff over in Chicago, I'm not sure. But G's job is heavily affected by coronavirus, being a nurse, so I'd imagine it might still not be the time to be doing that, to be honest. Just give this brush a clean to get it back to a point. Yeah, I mean, we shall see. We shall see what we shall see, as my mum used to say. Bless her cotton socks. I'm just getting rid of any of the islands that are formed quickly before it gets too far along. Not too worried about some of it, because we're going to be going over some areas in white. But in the shadows, I'd rather have it at least a little bit cleaner, if possible. To be honest, if you manage to get a good single layer of this, you probably wouldn't need to do anything else. The one I've done's a bit rough. It should come up quite quick with the white. I'll keep it thin so it shows the blue through a little bit, which will hopefully help. Can't beat a second layer as well if you need it, just to even it out, put in shadow. There's nothing lost by doing it, to be honest. Well, there is. A few more mils of your paint. If I come back up to the trainers now, let's get that in shot. So you can see it's really lined various lines. I'm gonna let's give it once more over, take the edge off, even them up, make them look like they're very similar in colour. That's just the contrast running off, really. This model's a bit different in shape than the last one, so I'm just going to change the focus slightly. So we'll sharpen him up when he's higher. There we go. There we go. It's a bit sharper now at the higher end. Not that I normally do it on a weekend, just the fact that I've got this much time and I'm doing this much painting rarely happens in the weeks for work reasons. Same time, it puts pressure on me to sort out what I'm going to do next for sit rep. Didn't take that long either. Jump out. I'm going to jump in with the Black Templar, just to do the get the RPG odds and sods done that are black to start with. I might as well stay with a small brush because it comes in sections because there's wood mixed in amongst it from what I've seen. Just make sure I get the inside edge nice first, and then I can go crazy on the rest. I'm a little gutted in some ways. My printer next door is going to finish while I'm in this session, so I won't know if it's come out alright until this one's done. So the wood comes in the second segment and the third segment. There we go. Second segment there, third segment there, and it's back to black on this. Then we're going to go green on that, traditional. So this is all GTG, good to go black. Take this excess off the top, put it down to the bottom. So when we were chatting in the last session, you were talking about getting in a game of Reichbusters, but you'd played through the first level. Did everybody survive then? Did you manage to keep the team alive? I know, I just need to change this round a sec. There we go. And do you carry forward? Is it like is the one you're doing at the minute a campaign? Are you like building towards level by level, getting skills, assets, anything like that? Am I too quiet? I know my phone keeps going off. No, it's fine. It was more, you played the Reichbusters. Did everybody survive the first run through? Did your team make it to the end intact? Or was there casualties? Also, was it just like a one-off game? Or is it a campaign that you're playing at the minute? So you've done sort of the first game of a number of games. Oh, mini campaign. The computer's blowing up. And you all lived. Sweet. Do you get to carry anything forward that you say, that you get during it? Or do you get like additional skills? Does your character sort of grow in skill as you get through it? Or are they just fixed? Just in and around the face here. No. As we were talking about earlier, it seems the models are absolutely stunning for it. Which, considering it's a board game, it's very good. Mythic are well known for doing some lovely miniatures. Combine new skills with hero points. Oh, sweet. Do you gear up as well, or just skills? I know you're going with some grenades and stuff. Not necessarily that you want to use something with that much noise. Well, it's just a lot more complicated than just painting the black guns. I have to just slap it on everywhere. So let's get the tip of this thing as well. That should be that bit done. That's probably out of focus at the bottom. Now that we've moved the focus up, yeah, figured it would be. I like him going to the pool. HP pool safe for next mission. Oh, nice. So yeah, there's a lot to it there. Gear is what you loot and find. Right. I'll go that way because you can find extra gear that'll make an impact in the next game. No, that's cool. I like that. Sweet. Okay, that's that done. What we're going to do next? Well, skin and green is all that's left now, so I think we're going to go with the white, and we're going to start bringing up that shirt. In fact, we'll do the skin, because while that's drying I can do the white, then I can do the wash. You know, it's sort of, that's got more layers to it, you won't have to wait for stuff to dry. Got to be aware of noise. Well, like Walking Dead's a noise-based game as well, isn't it? That's another one where noise and suppressing noise is key. Cool. So we thin down some. A little bit. Let's get that sorted. Testing and adjusting again. It's because I ate at the table. Should have took it through to the living room. The good thing is I've got it on a boom mic arm, so I can kind of just swing it out and swing it in. But I sometimes don't get the angle quite right. It would be nice to have a dedicated area, but maybe in the future. I've not actually played any of the Mythic games yet, to be honest. When I've done shows, it was when we had our own company, so never Games Expo this year. But as with many, that plan went out the window for now. And I know it's meant to be going on. I think it's been rescheduled, at least tried to, because I'm not sure if they're able to finalise or not yet. If I want to say August, late August, if it goes ahead. So if it does, I'll hopefully give it a go then to wander around the place. When you're saying that, I think I'm helping OTT out with camera work again, but I imagine there'll be enough time to get a game or something. Mainly because it's a great proving ground for any game system, be it card, dice, as a mechanism for a family game and such, happens to be there. A lot of European style games, Euro style games that they call them, don't they? Where you track resources and events, etc. There's all sorts, variations in chess, car racing. They even have a lot of simulators as well. Yeah, fun games, definitely fun. Another nice thing is they have like a dedicated area to play, with a library of stuff that you can play. So if you go there with your family and you've not got or not bought anything, I'm not sure if it's free or if it's just you rent the game sort of thing for an hour or two. I just need a bit. But I think by far my favourite thing is the libraries where you can try games that you've never tried, wanted to but never have. Maybe not a new game, maybe an old game that you were going to buy, Hero Quest for example. There'll be a copy of it somewhere on one of those shelves. And actually, so it's almost a try and buy. Is a real option there. It's no wonder it's so popular. I'm right in saying it's bigger than Salute, but then Salute is more miniature games and rule system orientated. So it's a smaller niche than UKG, which is very much everything. I don't know if there's a genre that they don't cover. There's lots of seminars and updates, that you can attend over the weekend. There's lots of RPG. With the hotels being there, it pretty much runs 24 hours because people volunteer and set up RPG events to be played out of the hours of the day as well. So I imagine if you took enough coffee, you could almost play permanently. Come out the other end all gamed out for the foreseeable future till the following year. Get it all in a single hit. End of the chin. So hopefully it'll go ahead in August. Hopefully this will all calm down, but I don't know, with the concentration of people at that sort of event, I'm not sure you'd be able to. Not with the current timeline in relation to vaccines and such. I think we're looking at next year now. I can't see them pushing the date again for a close date. I think they'll just go for when it would normally happen, but next year. Which I think what Salute actually went with in the end. Which is another big UK show. Like I say, that one's more miniature orientated. It's a shame because a lot of the companies rely on those types of events, both of those in fact, to make up a good portion of their profits for the year. I know, I think they're called Oathsworn or Minis, Oathmark. They do the lovely sort of beavers and animals, like in Wind in the Willows, the novel. I think they make up about a third of their total yearly income is at just those two shows. So to not be able to attend them is must be punishing on the company. I suppose the only good thing is for some of the smaller ones, they're not full time. So yes, it's punishing for the company, but they're not relying on it as a wage. They have another full-time job or another income. That's what makes up most of them, what they need, and therefore it's not impacting on them personally as heavily. Little bird tells me Warlord are now back into doing the odd delivery to indie stores and stuff. They've put on a skeleton crew and they've gone back in. So if you're Bolt Action, Ancients, LSR on the last thread we were talking about Ancients, they should be starting to go out to stores and stuff again. It'll be a good few weeks since I've had a delivery now. I know a lot of the guys that I know through small companies are running on fumes when it comes to stock, because people have kindly been supporting their small companies by buying, which is awesome, as you can imagine, for the companies as well. Totally reliant on that sort of income. But when you run out of stock, it's very difficult. My local one now has started doing vouchers, which is nice, set up for that, so I can help support by buying vouchers for future purchases. It keeps them ticking over for now. It'll impact them later, but hopefully we'll be through this when it does. But they were the ones that told me that Warlord are taking orders at the end of this week, because they've been asking if anybody wants anything. And of course, it's only right to support, isn't it? So picking up some bits for bolt action for a future project as always. Yeah, another one to put in the future project bin. Plastic bin, that is. Cool, I think we're pretty much there for the skin. And fingertip goodness. Sweet, so we'll let that dry. In fact, I'm going to go in on the jeans first, when that dries, then we'll do Reichland, then we'll go white, then we'll do the highlight back, do the hair and do green. What colour hair to do? Not sure. I'll have a think about that. Might do a dirty blonde, but try it a different way. It's all about learning. All about learning. Trying and learning, learning and trying. So what a dark blue. I like the Altdorf for dark blues. Or should we go Alatoic? I'll go Alatoic, it's a bit more flat in colour. I hope. It's quite watery, this one at the minute. Must have a lot of goop at the bottom. Sweet. Right, let's see how this goes. If I don't like it as it goes on, we can always change it. So I'm just looking to do some highlight. There's so many creases on this model, it's great. Loads to work with. Having lots of ridge points means you get a lot of visual detail, which is nice. But these are seriously too big for him. His mum said he'd always grow into them, that's what I heard. That's what my mum used to tell me when I got stuff that was too big. Must be a problem with school clothes. Because no wonder, every year your kid grows so much. Not a father, I don't know. I'm assuming. I could ask Steve, he's a father of 7. So if he doesn't know of something, nobody does. He's got a bit of a mix as well. His first kid was a boy, then 5 girls, then his recent one's a lad as well. I had a bet with him that it was going to be a boy. He said it was going to be another girl, he lost. I made him wait to watch the Avengers. It was when we went to see it, it was up to me at that point, so I didn't allow him to go on the opening night. Made him wait as punishment. Yeah, I'm evil. Well, when I get the option to be. Good, so boring. Go evil. If there was a faction for zombies in Walking Dead, that'd be me. Instead, you have to kind of play the good. Well, you can have bad guys, but they're still not as bad as zombies. They're just all a little nuts. I say a little. Really nuts. Well, the world's gone mad at the minute anyway, so it kind of fits. Starting to see people fall back into old routines now. My neighbours downstairs had like 2 cars worth of people around the other day for a party and stuff. Leave them to it. There's not a lot you can do. This blue's sitting quite nicely. Hopefully it'll show okay. The original blue's casting some nice shadows. I wonder if you can put music on these things. I once tried having music in the background on one, It was just Lord of the Rings, and then I didn't realise, but YouTube kind of blocked it because it had copyright infringement. And I also screwed up the sound settings so it was louder than me. So I spent about 2 hours playing a mini. No, didn't hear a word of it when you watched it back. It was quite funny. I think Lord of the Rings sounds far better than me talking. Oh, stretch. There we go. It's one of my favourite aspects of those movies is the soundtracks. I do like watching the stuff for the extended editions, the specials, sort of extras. They talk about everything from the crazy great model design team that physically built all these beautiful Wargamer's paradise of sets for Lord of the Rings. Soundtracks, costume. Yeah, it was very entertaining. I like how they talk about the injuries of the actors. Sean Bean's scared of flying, so when some of them used to be going up in a helicopter to a set in wherever it was in New Zealand, up in the hills, he would have to have set off, hours before to track it instead, with somebody alongside him. So if he got into trouble, he was all right because he wouldn't fly in the helicopter. Interesting. So yeah, happy with that. We've tidied up the blues. Didn't take a massive amount of time, but chewed up a little bit. So skin will be dry now. Put that blue back. Keep saying I must write down these combos. What contrast what layer paint goes with Overwatch contrast very well to match them, because if I don't write them down, I'm gonna have to watch my own videos back to see which ones work best with which. So jump on the Friken Flesh Shade for the skin. Instead of putting it directly on this time, because I want this guy a little bit lighter in tone than the last one, because I like to have at least some subtle changes. I'm going to put a good wadge of it onto the palette, because we're going to be using it on a fair chunk of it. I'm just going to water it down a bit as well. So this one should sit a little lighter than the last one. A bit more water. Oh, itchy arm. Your arm's bent for so long, I might need to talc the corners of my arms. Too much on the brush. Let's get some excess off. Still too much. There we go. So like I say, this one's not a hoofingly thick layer like the last one was. Because I wanted to tone him. Oh, I've missed some of the arm there. Quick halt check, 1, 2. Change out the brush. So I can't see it from the bottom. I can only see it from the top. What a pain in the ass that is. Done. Quick swirl. Clean on the sponge. Switch out. Back in. I'll have to leave that area alone until probably last. Clean the big brush so I don't overload it. It's like a game. Backwards and forwards. So let's get in amongst these fingers, leave the other area alone for now. In fact, we can do the wood on the gun. It's the first RPG I've had. What can I say? In fact, it's the first RPG I've ever painted. Let's be honest, dwarves, elves, space marines don't really have RPGs very often. In fact, I suppose space marines have bazookas. I'll take some of that out of there. That's good for the back of the neck. Dirty blonde. Probably doable. Just got to think about how to attack it, really. Just spread that out of his arm. It's not as strong. There we go. Under his chinny chin chin. Ooh, nearly painted the wrong bit. Trying to fit in. Nice. Actually got quite a good skin tone straight off the bat with that one. A little bit more back there. How the hell that got in? That loaded up quite heavy all of a sudden. It's getting in and around the areas that'll be a bit more shadowed. Like underneath the arm. We can go back in, it should be dry now. Yeah, it's dry. Cool. Got a little bit of something going on with his cheek. Gonna dab a little extra in here that I took out a bit too much, so it's lost the definition, which is done. Right, back to small, and we'll go with the Mournfang to get the RPG wooden section done. I would have thought this was all metal, to be honest, right up until I had a look online. Found that it wasn't. It was a bit of a surprise to me. But then thinking about it back, and films, and you know what you see, you've probably seen quite a lot of them in movies. Not that they're necessarily historically correct, but yeah, thinking about it, I do remember a lot of them having wooden elements to them. Such a basic design that's pretty robust. If I know it's not that accurate, but you know, definitely something that you can make a lot of very quickly. Just keep churning them out. Probably one of the most produced weapon systems still in lots of conflicts these days. A bit like the AKs. Still everywhere in the world. Quick stretch. Yeah, to get into trying to get in between the cheek and the bloody 1p's. Definitely need 2p's. See, this is what I'm normally working with. Look at the size difference. Which obviously has a lot more tension at that point. That's what happens when you don't plan ahead. Or you're not willing to take it off the stuff you're still painting. Right. Let's see if we can do this without screwing up his face. Cool, so that side done. Deep breaths, then don't breathe. Now I am. Sweet. So we'll probably do a highlight of that or something after. Do we do the green? Yeah, we'll do the green now as well. It's kind of a darker green. I don't want to use the warp glow again, so I think that's right. That's definitely not right. I don't want to use a contrast for this really because it's kind of finicky. I'm just going to whack on some Warbos green and we'll see what that looks like. Quick shake. Definitely getting a cup of tea after this. Oh, I quite like that. It's kind of pastely green. Yeah. The good thing is I can always wash it if it's too light. I'll darken it down. Probably some BL10 shade. In fact, I might end up washing it anyway due to the some nice little gaps, recesses on that front section. Yeah, it's definitely too light. So we'll give it a wash and we'll see how it sits. If needs be, I can always get darker after. But we've got the colour on the palette now, and you only learn by trying and doing. So I'm told. Maybe it's just you mainly learn that way. So I need Jim. Finally painting a weapon system I have no idea about. Jim's normally here to keep me on the straight and narrow. If you don't know who that is, Jim Oriskany, one of our team members. Loves his histories. So our go-to for historical stuff. Keeps us in the right area at least. If not, just pulls out great information from his knowledge bank. He has. He's got very good aptitude for retaining information. Okay. So we'll give that a wash after and we'll see how it comes up. So dirty blonde was the next thing we were thinking. But what to use as a base colour for a dirty blonde? I had one in mind earlier, but it's currently playing hide and seek with me. So I think I'm going to go with that's really annoying. I'll try some Baylor Brown on it and see how that comes up with a blonde. Not sure about this. This is all going to be new colours. This is slightly darker than what I used on the last Mini, for those that tuned in this morning or are watching these in order. We'll see how this one sits. I don't know what I've done with the rack out. I need it for another model anyway, so I definitely need to dig that out. It's probably been put to one side for that model. We shall see. Right, so let's get into amongst this big mop of hair that he's got going on. Probably could have gone up to the larger brush to do this first bit, but never mind. It'll probably still come down at the end to do the edges. Run out of things to watch now. Lots of stuff I've seen at least once through. I saw that Netflix have gone up 16 million users in the first third of the year. Or first 3 months, sorry, not third, quarter. Worldwide. Which is awesome for them when you think about, if everybody's paying even a basic one, which is whatever, 5-6 quid a month, that's a huge jump in a single year. And I imagine a lot won't get rid of it once everything's settled back down, because they'll be used to the kind of the ease that Netflix gives you to navigate and receive stuff that you might fancy watching as well. It's not bad actually. It's a dirty blonde. So basically I'm going to start with this, then I'll probably won't use flesh shade, I'll probably use sepia because it's more of a brown, and do a wash and then probably put this back over it to highlight it. More like a dry brush I think than a paint job. Might stipple it, we'll see. Where's his ear? There it is. Poor block, can't even find his ear. One way to work is deaf in one ear, and you can always tell when he can't hear you because he starts turning his good ear towards you. That's when we start taking the mickey. That's like verbally abuse, yeah. Character building in the military. And that's the other term. G'll attest to that, as will Mr. Ruskini. There's some character building going on. So a quick check over, make sure now that it's drying it's not pooling away from. There's a couple of white dots where it's moved away from areas. Even though it's not a contrast, this one's a nice thin. Oh yeah, he's got his M&M going on, look. I wouldn't call him Slim Shady, but you know, he's certainly got something about him. Cool. Right, I want to see what this RPG is going to look like. So, as we said, I'm going to grab some BL10 green, which is a shade. I'm going to chuck it on directly and see how this tones it down. If I can brush a proper clean. Give it a quick clean, but there's a bit of paint around the bristles, which I don't like, so let's get rid of that straight away. I've not been looking at the camera much, I hope it's been in shot. You definitely look up more when there's people on the chat, because you're talking to them, so you see where you are more. I try and keep what I'm painting in shot, even if the rest of the mini's out shot. That's sort of the goal. He says. That's coming up quite nice with the shadows. Just duplicate that hopefully on this side now. Bottom's good. Top it until it's dry. Then but where's the Black Templars? A little bit on the gun plate. Handling the mini, could easily have removed that. Let's edge that out just a touch.
tidy. Down into the hand area where we got some of the flesh shade. Flesh shade? No, I've done the flesh shade yet. Oh no, we have. Actually got. Cool. Yeah, happy with that. How are we doing for time on this one? Just over an hour. So, like I say, that last one really had me stumped. This one's ticking along nicely. Oh, I shouldn't have said it, should I? Oh, one day I'll learn. So a quick shake of the white and a quick slurp of pop. We get some white scar going. Look, I need to clean the back of this. That's just lazy, isn't it? I'll do it after. Just try to do a quick one now, but it's not having it. Get a reasonable amount on. It's probably going to take a few layers. Some water. I say a few layers, it might not. Got a reasonable amount of water going though. Where to begin? Start at the bottom. Whoa, way too much on the brush. Hope it's not too watery. Yeah, it is. A bit more white to thicken it up. Alright, let's try that. Clean the brush. Get the excess off. You can already see it's lightened up that bottom edge though. I do love a clean white. I know it's always unrealistic, but it does have a nice visual impact. It's like a black car that's just been detailed, had all the little imperfections buffed out. It's just a mirror finish. It's just something. See your reflection in it when you go past it. Cool. So that's that bottom bit done. Yeah. Where to start next? It's always about finding just a place that you want to go for, and then going. So I'm going to do some edge work first. Gives me an idea of where I need to play with shadow and not play with shadow. I hope. I wonder if my prints come out alright. Oh, speak of the devil, it's just literally beeping. Oh, I might go and look in a second. No, I won't. I'll finish this and then come back and check it. It's not going to get any better or worse, so give it time to drip as well. So we're getting towards the end of the stuff on the back. It's almost like dry brushing in some areas. Friggin' boring meeting. Was it just a one-on-one, or was there a few of you? So our trousers are done, dude. We've done a bit of blue work on them. Okay, my neighbour out the back. We're just sort of starting the white, finding the areas and the lines on the white at the minute. And then we'll build up and down from them, I think. Cool. Right, so now with the stuff that was too thin, which should still be fairly thin, we'll fill in some gaps and see how it goes. He said. Hopefully it'll sit okay on the model. We're stronger at the bottom because it's sticking further out, if that makes sense. And then at the top we've kept it reasonably thin here, sort of. We'll do the top bit a bit more, then the centre of the back a bit less. But yeah, it's a bit of test and adjust, to be honest. As long as the white's fairly thin, shouldn't make too many really bad errors, he says. Quiet at the minute while I do the shoulder section. As usual, try not to screw it up. Sometimes I fail. This time I might have even passed. Oh. Are the meetings all scheduled, dude, or do you just kind of get a message to come on to them? Oh, way too much on the brush. There we go. I'm to put it down. I've moved my pot to the other side. Started to do that to allow me to twist and move around a bit more. I need to keep in mind that you guys might get sick of me keep putting the model down on the edge of shot. If you do, then I can always go back to how I used to do it. Sometimes I remember not to, just like then, because I was talking about it. So hopefully when I finish this, I'll have 5 shiny new bases that are printed off to perfection, or be something similar. The pop's getting a bit flat now. My new Pepsi always tastes a bit more flat to me than Coke. Don't know if you guys find that as well. Saying that is Pepsi Max. We're doing a lot of saying that today. Saying that is the word of the day. Words of the day. Saying of the day. Annoying thing I say of the day. Wonder how many of them are in the videos. So I'm going to keep this a bit lighter again because it's towards the bottom, it comes out a bit more. It's a bit more susceptible to light. Now you can almost see the line here, so we keep the dark grey bit on the inside. Just do the last half of these sweeps. It'll should make reasonable sense from the lighting of it, I hope. Getting there. Like I say, it's a bit of a patience game, trying to layer it all up. If you get it right, and if you don't, you start again. Or you just wash it and leave it alone, depending on how you feel. A little more here on the hips. Right, let's have a look at the tops of the shoulder. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's like a purer white now. We're getting near the top. Just taking from the thicker sort of white that's on the palette. Cool. So getting there with that t-shirt, it's nearly done. See up here it's not quite the same grey, so I'll have a quick scooch with that. Finally over. How long did that go on for? I've not looked at my timing. I'm at 1 hour and 20, so I'm not doing too bad with this one. My best time yet on any model's been like only an hour. It's been 1 hour and 40, so I don't think we're going to break that record with this guy. We'll see. So yeah, I think we're there. I've lost a little bit of detail that I want to put back in with the contrast. 45 minutes. Oof. Did you actually achieve what you wanted to achieve, or was there at least something achieved by doing the meeting though? I suppose that's the question. So with the Space Wolf now, we're just doing some of the shadow work. I've not thinned it, but I'm only taking as little as possible, if that makes sense. This is just a good way of tidying back up. When you take small amounts of it, actually, it's very controllable. Under the arm will be darker because of the arm block in it. Managed to go and lose the edge line up here. Just sort that out. I just had to listen in. Alright. I bet that is a bit soul destroying then. When you're spending that much time and it ends up really not being relevant anyway to what you need to do. I think we're pretty much there for the shirt. Just pull a little bit more. Cool. Yeah, so that's the white shirt done. Thank you. It does, yeah, it's come out quite nice, quite like that. That Space Wolf Grey definitely is a nice start point to. It allows you to keep the greys in the gaps as well as some really dark areas if you want to make it almost comic booky. Right, before we do anything with this launcher, I'm going to null oil the actual wood to darken it down. In null oil? Yeah, I think we will null oil. I've definitely had it. There it is. It's hidden in plain sight, as is always the way. So just clean the brush a little bit, make sure, because I've had white and derivatives of it on. Make sure there's no lumps in it, which are all fine. The launcher is still a little light, so we're probably going to do this on that as well. The RPG, that is. Beg your pardon, launcher. But first, let's darken down this wood. In by his face. Knocked the back at some point. It's probably when I knocked it off. So by the time it gets to G in America, it's probably going to be a different shape altogether. One of the joys of metals in postage. Cool. That gives me something to work with to sort of highlight it now. The launcher at the front. Somebody's having a bit of a loud chat outside, or my neighbour's downstairs. One of the two. Can never tell. That's better. So I kind of just did the bottom, maybe 3/4 of it, touching up to the top. Dirty it up a bit and put some shadow into it, really. It makes it look a lot better. The RPGs are fragile. Yeah. All right, Taliban. Yeah. Which range is that one from, dude? I do like the stuff from White Dragon. I've been looking at them for a while on and off. They do a nice Taliban set, but there's a few out there, isn't there? Empress, I imagine, Spectre, lots and lots of decent options. So now I'm just going to come back in and essentially highlight a little bit on top, like we used to on the guns, with the original colour before we washed it twice. Do it while it's still wet as well. Get that edge of the straight edge here as well. Straight edge there. Tips of these at the base. Cool. So we've got a definite light side on top, dark side on the bottom. Grab the white. Balls. Too far back. And too late. So let's dry that. Grab the non-oil, see if that's enough. No, I'll have to use black. Black Templar. Got the Empress, guys. Oh, is that the HMGS show? Historical, miniature, HMGS. I don't know that one, dude. What's the E stand for? Historical Miniature Game Show? Where is it? Or is that Historicon? Depending which country you go to. So the hair we talked about, we're going to grab the sepia. Just chuck a wash on it to pick up all them dimples in the hair itself. See how this takes. Oh yeah, that should work. I don't think I'll need anything more than that, really. Historical Miniature Game Society. Historicon is the one of the 300 shows they put on near me. Alright, cool. Where are you based out of, dude? Sweet. I think we've dirtied him up as much as I want to go. Right. Flesh tones are not far off this time, so I'll probably just do a little bit of that one highlight. We'll touch up the hair a little bit, but trousers are done. Shoes are next. Ah, okay, yeah. Nice. I do enjoy coming over and visiting America. Hoping to do it this year, next year, but I'll have to wait and see now with everything that's going on. I was half tempted to book because there's obviously really good offers on. Be a little bit scared of. It's European Airlines operated by Air America, American Airlines. So, you know, like Lufthansa from Germany. You can get flights with them that are operated by the staff from American Airlines. I was looking the other day and it was, how much was it? £380. So I'm not sure what the current exchange rate is, but you're probably looking at what, $450 for return London to Chicago if I book now. And that was with a 25 kilo bag each way as well. Scary cheap, but scary in the sense that you might lose it. Yeah, UK is quite interesting. I think it's a lot of people are surprised by how much is in how small an area. Especially when you look at a lot of the US. As soon as you get one, like I say, I've only visited a few places. El Centro, Chicago. So I've not got many points of reference, but your built-up areas are generally very built up, and you quickly go out of the city, but then you spend 45 minutes driving out of a city. Whereas there's only a few of them in the UK where you'd spend that long driving out before you were really away from it. And the distances we travel are, I consider a long journey for me. Not a long journey, but a reasonable journey for me is 3.5 hours to go back up to the other end of the country of England when I used to go and visit family. Whereas your concept of what a journey would be to do that would be very different. As I found in Phoenix when I asked where the gun range was, and they said it wasn't far away because it was just the other side of town, is what the clerk at the hotel said. I said, "Oh, cool. So it's not that far. Is it walkable?" No, well, it's walkable. Then we got in a taxi, and it took about 30 minutes to get there. Which was, yeah, and that was like on and off dual carriageways, and yeah, I was surprised at how far away just over there is. Okay, I'm gonna do the eyes thing again that we did on the last mini. Yeah, I can't get to New York in that time. Yeah, exactly. So even sort of a real journey for us from here would be England-wise would probably be Newcastle, and that's probably like 8 hours, 7, 8 hours or something. And that would be the other end of the country, you know. Alright, let's see if we can get these eyes in. That's one. That's two. I'm just black dotting them. I'd normally do proper eyes, but they didn't want them, but it's really bugging me, so I'll probably end up doing that on most of the minis, whether they like it or not. I'm just going to freshen up my Bugman's Glow. I'm probably not going to do, I'm definitely not doing flash shade straight away, because I don't think I want to go that far with this guy. So I'm just going to thin up some Bugman's, because we've done the wash, that's already darkened it a little bit, and I just want to see how this sits. Just one layer on the face, and we'll see. In fact, rather than go straight for the face, let's tidy up these fingers. That'll give me an idea of what level of highlight it's giving. Did I redo? I still need to redo that. I need to redo RPG white bit that we ended up repairing. Alright, that's back of the hand. Do a little bit down the forearm. Top of the arm where the shoulder is. Again, I'm just going to round it a little bit at the bottom. The outside of the arm here. Yeah, this one's going to be a subtle highlight on the skin, I think. Yeah, I go a little crazy with eyes. Sometimes I do them properly, sometimes I don't. I've even started doing eyebrows on certain things now. I did this pair the other day. So you can see I've got the eyes done on them okay. It's something I'm working on to improve at. I found on some of the darker skin tones, getting like the blue eyes on him done actually added a lot to the face. But you know, you can't go too far with them. When you're doing eyes on your 15mm as well. But if you never try, you never learn. If you never learn, you don't grow. So I've been told. Or as Miniac likes to say, paint more minis. I'm a definite convert to that ethos now, having had this period off and painted quite a lot of minis for me. Without trying, I've learned a lot. You know, as in, I work consciously trying to do stuff, but it's meant that I've got a little tidy with stuff and all sorts. I figure I really can't see him on the table. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I think it comes back to what we were chatting about earlier with going and having a nice force to play against somebody with. I really like the idea of that they're having a better game because the models are... But like I say, you won't see most of it. So, why bother? Jerry says the same thing to me. It's nice, but there's no point. Like, not wrong. You're not wrong. I think it's one of them I know. You know when you say, yeah, but nobody will ever see that. Yeah, but I'll know it's there. Or I know I've not done that. It's one of them things. There is no logic to it whatsoever. Not even going to try and give a reason why. Ours is not the reason why, ours is but to do and die. So I've been told. Again, I get told a lot, obviously. Skin tones are up a little bit. I didn't clean this cheek very well. I've got a bit of a ridge line there, so I'm just going to increase the highlight there a little bit. Yeah, I think that's okay. That leads us to the to this other arm, really. I'm going to do the bottom finger, some of the next one. A little bit less each time. Fingers on his other hand. Yep. Get the back of the neck done now so I don't forget. Plus I got a good amount on the brush, so it's a good time to do it. We're nearly there, buddy. Nearly there for this one. How are we doing time wise? An hour and 40, yeah, so this will be sub 2 hours, which is good. That's kind of where I'm trying to be, between sort of around the 2 hour point. I was about to say sub 2 hours, but rarely does sub 2 hours happen. It's always about how the model lends itself to the paint job, I think. The last one shouldn't have been that difficult and ended up being a pain in the arse. This one is a lot easier. Yeah, I agree with that. Personal, I mean, it's your force. If you see it and it annoys you, fix it. And if you're happy and you don't see it and you don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Like I say, we don't go into competition for painting, so you know nobody's gonna care that much. And if you can't see it, you can't bloody see it. Big believer. Big believer in your hobby. You know, you can be happy with whatever whatever you're happy with, do. Saying that, I did cringe at an event. I had a guy that turned up and he tipped his Ultramarine army. I wasn't on the table, but I saw he was a couple of tables down from me and he was playing one of my friends, which is why I noticed. And he tipped his army onto the table out of a Tesco bag. And it was just something that he obviously wasn't a hobbyist. He was more, he was a gamer, so his army was a mishmash of what he'd been able to buy, which is very cool. And he'd done the event, which is awesome. But watching an army getting tipped out of a carrier bag is just watching them bounce around on the table was just a bit soul destroying for me. And soul destroying for my mate who was sort of stood there, took the wind out of his sails to say the least. Maybe it was a psychological game. Who knows? So let's get this bicep coloured in. Sweet. Cool. I think a little bit on the jaw there. And a little bit at the front. I think, buddy, we're pretty much there. That's number 2 done. Final check over the Mini. That would kill me. Yeah, exactly. There's different levels in the. Okay, so I need to do the RPG. I need to do the white dot. It's never finished. White dot. I'm sure I need to do it underneath, but you know. Where's the Mournfang brown? Got some water into it. Let's do that again. Oh, another message. I'm actually happy with the hair. I'm just going to leave that as is. Cool. Yeah, do that. And then we'll grab some of the, was it Balar Brown? Just find what it was called. Yeah, Balar Brown. Don't know why that stuck in my head, because normally I wouldn't have remembered that. Not too much. Yeah, I do. I do really like the Citadel holders. Um, I think it's one of the best value bits of kit they've ever produced. Um, I have 6. They come in them box sets, which is really handy for sort of the level of squad size that I want to be painting at once. So 5 minis and then like a single mini project on the side is for me about right. You know, it's ideal. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Cool. Got a highlight on that. I'm gonna grab some Black Templar. They don't fit square bases as well, from what I've heard. I've not tried myself yet. And like I say, 1P's a bit too small. But that's kind of not surprising, because it's all based on the tension of what is essentially a lackey band. So all I've done is just blacked out the centre of the rear, so it's got the right sort of visual. So I've done the white that I needed to do, and I've done the highlight on that. Which leaves just the highlight on the actual the black areas. So I'll grab some Mechanicus standard grey, which is just one of the base colours. Thin that down, chuck that on. We'll leave it at a single layer because we've got some different colours in the weapon this time, with the green and the brown. So I want them to stand out more than a harsh highlight. Oh, Jim, you're just catching me at the end of this one. Yeah, we've done one already. This is the second one. So just a quick show to Jim. So this was the first session today. I got this guy done. Added with another light support weapon. We've just done RPG guy. Number 1. I'm not going to do the second one today because I don't want people to be bored out of their mind with 2 RPGs. But we're going to go for a bit more of a Warrior Militia member next, with what looks like a fairly meaty weapon system, similar to an SLR. So we're going to have some fun with him for the last session tonight, which would sort of be the normal session. I forgot what I'm doing. Oh yeah, we're highlighting the actual black bit of the weapon. Paint's gone dry. Yeah, Mr. Brenner has kindly been in to keep me company. We've had LSR today as well. Ralph popped in earlier on the first one as well. So I've had some company, which is very cool. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, they've been coming along quite well. I was worried about the early ones, thinking that I was just going to be sat here on my own. But kindly the guys saved me from that, because that would have been tougher to do that sort of length of time. But it should mean that after today I'll have 2 minis left. So about 2 weeks worth of pain before it's done. I don't know when I'll be able to ship them though. I've not been to a post office. I don't even know if they're open over here. Something I'll have to look into. I'm not meant to be going out either, which is the other thing. So I was going to use just that, but the Dawnstone, it does need a little bit more lightness to it here and there. So we'll do the Dawnstone, and then that's that. Cool. So again, just going to run this over the top. Had to look up the colours for an RPG, Jim. Day 41 of the quarantine, day 41 without a day off from work. That's because you're crazy. I don't think that's legal, is it? Working 41 days in a row. Got to be a law against that, surely. And if not, just pick up a law and solve that problem of management. It's America, I'm sure you could buy one. That's right, isn't it? God bless America. Cool. So RPG is done. I'm not going to put the white lines on it to make it sci-fi. We're just going to leave it like that. That stings. As if you. What time are we on? We're on 5:20. Cool. So I get like a 2-hour, 10-minute break. No, I'll have a break until 7, and then we'll go again for the final mini then. So second session of the day. Another 2 hours, pretty much, just under 1:53. Really happy with that time frame for this guy. Didn't bring the skin up as far this time. But the RPG looks good, t-shirt looks good, jeans look good. And yeah, another one to rack up, essentially, to the list of work done. So that's going to one side. Thank you very much to Mr. C. Branner for popping in, for Jim catching it just in time. I will be back at 7 o'clock my time, which is an hour and 40 away. So I get a bit of a break now. I don't need to eat because I'm still stuffed from my fish and chips. And we will go into this fine gentleman, which is going to be the final model of the day. Nice mini, lots physically on him, so it'd be interesting to see how long it takes to actually do it, because there seems to be quite a lot there. I'm not sure how long that'll take. We'll see. Look, we'll just paint until it's finished. Last time I did forget to do the advertisement on the way out. This time I'm not going to forget to do that. So again, you head for your lunch then, buddy. Hope you enjoy. Jim, hopefully, don't know if we'll see you later or not, but fingers crossed we might do. And I will leave you with an advert from our sponsors, Blacksite Studios. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye for now.
Are you looking to become a Tier 1 operator in the gaming world? Elevate your games with Blacksite Studio Terrain.